Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave. I think I'm pointing the right way. Yes.
I think you got it.
I got it. I got it. Hey, we are wrapping up our sci-fi month. This month's review will be The Day the Earth Stood Still, and it's a very classic sci-fi movie. So stick around and listen to our review on that. Anything going on with you, Dave?
Not a whole lot. I'm wearing my turkey shirt.
Yes,
the
the
wife bought me
WKRP.
the best turkey shirt in the world.
Yeah.
The WKRP Les Nessman turkey drop.
Oh my God, that's awesome. And for those of you out there that are younger, which is everybody that's listening,
Yeah, pretty much.
Go on YouTube, go wherever you can find WKRP. Great show from the, was it 80s or 70s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Early 80s.
I want to say 80, 81.
And their Thanksgiving episode that David's shirt references is one of the funniest fucking things ever.
And I'm not going to spoil anything. Nope. All I'm going to say is it's a giveaway. The radio station that these guys work for come up with a giveaway for turkeys.
And it's funny. And it's one that I could watch over and over and over. It is an iconic moment of TV history.
I remember as a kid watching that and crying. I was laughing so hard. I was literally crying because it was so damn funny. But yeah, it's freaking hysterical. Les Nessman, God bless him.
Yeah.
I got that. I got a new Wacom. I think I told
you did.
About it. Did
Very
I tell you
cool.
about that? I got the Wacom. I think I've got everything I need added except for I think I'm going to go buy Procreate. Mm-hmm. I'm going to play around with it a little bit tonight. I'm trying to learn this slowly because every time I try to sit down and learn a new software, I do a lot of swearing.
Yes.
I do a lot of punching of walls.
Absolutely.
But there's always a lot of swearing. I always scare the dogs, and the wife gets up and walks off in the other room and slams the door. So I think it's best that I do the learning curve on this one a little bit at a time.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too bad. I think I've messed around with Procreate. I'm not. It's been a while since I had any type of art pad or anything, and I want to say I've used it, but I wish I could remember. Right. But I do know that I had a Wacom tablet as well at one point, and it does really help to feel like you're drawing on something. I've tried using my iPad and using the Apple Pencil, and the Apple Pencil is actually a really cool device, but it skates across the glass, so it slides.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard some people say that.
I want to feel the graphite and the texture of the paper, and you just don't feel that. If
that's how you're brought into art, if you're sketching and you're penciling and you're painting, I think you need that. My one friend Mike, God bless him, I was setting up the thing, and I texted him. I'm like, I'm about ready to throw this damn thing back in the box and send it back because I'm putting it on a PC, not a Mac. Okay,
so now you've got a double whammy of learning something different.
So yeah, exactly. So that's my problem number one for me is trying to download anything onto a PC is not like a Mac. A Mac, you click on it, boom, it's there. Don't worry about it. PC, you got to effing open up files and stuff. But anyway, I called text Mike, and I'm like, I'm about ready to throw this away. He kind of talks me down a little bit because he knows how I get when I get angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But I'm like, okay, I got it. And I get it down. He texted me the other day. He's like, so how's it going? And I'm like, a little bit at a time. I'm baby stepping, Mike. I'm baby stepping.
That's good.
But he told me everything you learned at art school, throw it out because none of that matters on one of these things. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
It is to me, it's relearning. For a brief while, and I need to get back into it, I started creating vector art on the computer.
That was nice stuff. I liked your stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't done that in a while, but it's anytime I pick up a pad of paper and a pencil or something, I'll start sketching. Next thing I know, I find myself back at the computer. So I'm starting to migrate that way. Thankfully, I came into video editing when everything was digitized. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's time for our Zoom meeting.
Hey, look at us. We're zooming.
What is that? Why is my phone going off saying, get on Zoom? We're already there, Siri. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder, though.
Yeah. Anyway. So you mentioned, I mean, you got the WKRP shirt.
Yeah.
I just recently bought a new TV, and I think you've told me you use Roku to watch
Yeah,
stuff?
I use Roku through the TV. I have like
Okay.
a little thing. Used to be a big box. Now it's down to like that big.
Well, my TV came with that built in.
That's awesome.
And
that's freaking cool.
So I was setting up all the regular apps, my HBO, my Netflix, all of that. And I started looking at the Roku and the channel options. And there's like classic TV shows. There's all this stuff. And it's like, oh my God, all this things I've been missing, as if Tubi wasn't enough to give me something to watch.
Right.
Lots of people have created Roku channels that have stuff on it. So that's really cool. Yeah, you can create your own
now
Roku
I'm
channel.
interested because I have the Roku. Like there is a thing that says Roku channel or Roku TV or whatever. I'm gonna have to go in and look at that now.
Look in there. There's a ton of stuff. I was like, oh my God.
That's cool. That looks like, is that like something like a, lack of a better term, like a YouTube?
Kind of.
Upload to it?
I don't know. We're going to have to look at that to see. But there are people have created different types, like classic TV channels. There's channels that just have old commercials on them. There's all kinds of cool shit.
I'm that guy. I am that guy who will watch an old commercial.
Dude, I have DVDs of old commercials.
On YouTube, they have the old 80s TV commercials from Saturday morning. I'm my God. I'm there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Hungry Hippos, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I have no idea why. It's so stupid.
No, it's not.
But
it's
I do
really
it all
cool.
The time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Freaking great.
That's really cool. So I got that set up, and I just wanted to share that there's a lot of stuff out there, and I'll be digging into it.
Oh, very cool. I'll have to look into that too.
Yeah.
That's
so
fun.
that's
a little bit at a time with the tech, and that's all I can do. I can't jump into it.
And speaking of tech, please, if you're listening, click the buttons, like, subscribe, share. Do it all. Drop us a line. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. I don't care. Just talk to us, please. We're lonely.
We're starved for attention.
I wanted to bring up something, and we talk about this quite often. And it's always somebody in Hollywood that comes off as an old man yelling at the clouds. And this week's old man yelling at the clouds is not us, but the lovely Ridley Scott.
No! What dumb thing did Ridley Scott say now?
This one struck me as just arrogant as fuck.
The clouds.
So he just had a movie out called The Duel, and I don't deny Ridley Scott's filmmaking ability at all, except I don't like the direction he took Aliens. I don't like. Lately, I'm not as huge of a fan, but the movie The Duel. I don't know enough about it, but apparently enough people didn't go see it that his comment on a podcast was, this is a quote, what we've got today are the audiences who were brought up on these fucking cell phones, the millennials, who do not ever want to be taught anything unless it's on the cell phone. Bitch, I didn't want to go see your movie.
I know. I saw the movie. It just didn't look that interesting to me.
Yeah.
Maybe if it comes out on HBO Max or something, maybe.
But here's something interesting.
But I got to be in the mood for something like that.
Ghostbusters had a great opening weekend.
I've heard.
Ridley, explain that one.
Yeah. Somebody made an interesting movie, and then you made that.
Yeah. And, I get it. It sucks for somebody like him to put all that effort in and do that and then see it fail. But you know what? It's not the millennials' fault. It's not the cell phone's fault.
No,
I don't go to the theater anyway. So, hey, explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about that movie either. But it just didn't. Like I saw the previews to it, the stuff, and I wasn't interested. I looked at it and went, eh.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren is now a knight. Okay, got it.
With angst issues, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's probably got angst issues in this one too. No, I actually like that actor though. I do like.
Oh, Adam
actor.
Driver is really good. The Kylo Ren character. Oh my God, Kylo Ren, not Adam Driver.
Anakin should have been. That's how they should have portrayed Anakin Skywalker. Yes. That would have made much more sense rather than the bad acting direction that he got from George Lucas, which I always thought it was the kids. I think you and I had a conversation. Like,
are you talking about Jake Lloyd?
No, not Jake Lloyd. When he grew up.
Oh, Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I always thought, well, this kid, I've seen this kid and stuff. He's a good actor. What the hell?
Is.
Why is he such a bad actor? Jesus, everybody's a bad actor in these 3 movies. What the hell happened? It's finally come out that that's basically the direction George Lucas was given to him. Well, Darth Vader sounds a certain way and he has a cadence. You should have that cadence too, because, it's not just going to happen. And I'm sitting there thinking, yes, it would. You got fucking air pumping into your lungs. You're being kept alive by mechanical means. That's why he's talking that way. That's the way I've always thought he's talking. Well, yeah. And then I started listening to him and his cadence with Darth Vader's, supposed cadence. He's not even close to that, really. And he just comes off as a bad actor. And it's not his fault. All these years I've been blaming Hayden Christensen. I've been blaming all the actors and actresses. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell happened? These are all great people. I've seen them in movies. What the hell happened to George Lucas? Instead of just letting somebody else direct the movies. Sorry, folks. No,
it's okay. All roads lead
in his lap right there.
All roads lead to Star Wars.
They always do.
Miso thinks they got bad acting direction. Yeah.
And I personally love the Ewoks. I hate Jar Jar Binks, but I love the Ewoks because they were good at. They had heads in those helmets at the end of that movie when they're playing the and they were eating those stormtroopers. You couldn't let that food go to waste.
Nope.
Ewoks are fucking savage. Yeah. God, they're vicious. I love
the Gungan. There's some catfish.
Yeah. At least that one Gungan that they kicked out.
Yeah.
He will remain nameless. I do not think he's a dark Jedi. I just think he was a bad character.
Yeah. I watched the
We're
new.
Gonna get hate mail for that.
That's fine. I watched the new Candyman, so we can get some more hate mail.
Oh, good. What'd you think of the Candyman?
I loved it. This is the first time I've watched a Jordan Peele movie, and I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. I'm apprehensive because I don't want to be preached at in a movie.
Right.
And I was fearful because I know he comes from an agenda, and that's great. And I will say this, when it comes to his writing of Candyman here, or producing, or I think he wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. It's well done.
Okay.
It's really well done. It's not directed by him. And the messaging is just as loud as it is in the first Candyman.
Right.
I mean, so if you watch that and say, oh, it didn't have a message, you didn't watch the same movie that I did.
Right.
So it follows along the same thing, only it clearly is referencing more current events. Mm-hmm. But it ties to the first one, and I'm not going to spoil this, but it ties to the first one. It is a sequel. It is a true sequel. It is not a remake, a reboot. Anything Tony Todd is in it. But to be fair, it's only a few seconds. But they explain why. And it's done. It's an interesting take, really well done. If you're a fan, to the listeners, if you're a fan of Candyman and that story, it's definitely worth a watch.
I can hear your cat purring. He's right next to the microphone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hi, Dave. Scott's holding his cat up and making it wave.
No, he waves on his own.
That's fun.
Yeah, he likes to purr. So anything with you before we move to our review?
No, just trying to figure out technology, man. Just trying to figure out technology.
Yeah. Understood. So with that being said, we will head on into the day the earth stood still. Thanks for watching and listening.
Hello again, and welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave. That's Scott. And we are here to review The Day the Earth Stood Still. Scott, I don't think that you'd seen it before I mentioned it to you.
I have not.
And you heard of it though, right? Before?
Yes, I've heard of it. It's always brought up when people talk about classic sci-fi or memorable or important movies. This one always comes up.
Right. What did you think?
I hadn't seen it. Okay, this is a mixed
bag. Let's talk movies. Let's talk
movies. Okay, Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. It's important to note that this movie is taking place during the whole Red Scare, Cold War era that traveled all the way up into the 80s and 90s of communism, the Russians. It's we talk about this a lot in movies. And before I get to the meat of the movie itself, we talk a lot about messaging in movies.
Right.
There are times this fucking movie swung it with a goddamn hammer. It was in your face. And it's like, wow. Yeah. But I get it. What's cool about this movie is they were showing a lot of things about people's fear. It's interesting because earlier I was telling you about the show on Apple called Invasion, and it's a drama set with an alien backdrop. Guess what? This movie has absolutely really nothing to do with aliens and more to do with people and how they handled this thing. So I found that very interesting, but they made a point to show the media was only interested in what was scary.
I made a note of that. Now I don't have to cover it.
No, that to me was really telling when they showed that, and that was handled well.
Back in 1951, when everybody trusted the news media.
And here it was.
Evidently, not everybody trusted the media back then either.
And they should. They shouldn't now. They shouldn't then. The way this movie's not wrong in its messaging, but it is heavy. It is heavy.
Oh yeah, it's heavy-handed.
It's very heavy-handed. And for me, that is the only negative I have on this movie is it was a little heavy and hard to watch because it was heavy, and the pacing. I think there was some really long, drawn-out scenes. It's like, come on, let's go. I know we're not going to get action. But there's
I think with their pacing, I think they were trying to build tension with some of the stuff. And I think, in my opinion, some of the stuff should have been drawn out a little bit more.
Some could have, and some could have been cut.
Yeah, some could have been shortened for the pacing.
Yeah, near the end, I was about to hit that fast forward button. It's like, let's go. Let's
really?
wrap this up. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just the pacing of it. I agreed with the messaging of I love. Okay, let's back up. Let's talk about the movie itself. A ship lands.
I like how he just comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, just appears.
They cover, they go through all the countries: India, Russia, China, America, Britain. Like every country that had a radar station, is tracking the spaceship.
Good intro to this. I was hooked.
Yeah, right into the Earth's atmosphere. This thing's not firing on anybody. It's not doing anything. It's just flying over the Earth, and it lands in a baseball park.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And it just sits there for hours. Nobody's getting out. There's no movement. That's just sitting there. I love that.
I love that. And there's some great filmmaking here. There really is.
Oh yeah. The special effects in that were fucking tremendous.
It's really good. It was really good. The inside of the ship.
Yeah.
But this is basically a messenger who comes from another planet. And basically to tell humans to get your shit together, stop fighting, or we will destroy you, because we cannot have you entering the global community if you're savages, basically.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Klaatu, was that his name?
Yeah, Klaatu.
Klaatu had said is, we got rid of stupidity.
Yeah, I love when he's talking to that doctor.
Yeah,
we got rid of stupidity,
and we're better for it.
People, we don't deal with that crap anymore.
And that's a great feeling, because I get that. That's where there's a lot in this movie that can apply to now with anything, with definitely. The media, with whatever the latest scare is that we got to worry about. Here we are again, and he's like, we've done away with stupidity. However,
I like what he tells the humans is basically, you know what, we don't care what you do on your own planet. As soon as you come up there, you're going to get knocked. You're going to get whacked. Is basically what he tells them.
Yeah,
You
he knew
keep it here. Don't take it out there.
Yeah, yeah, he knew that, and like we've seen so many sci-fi movies in the past, that once the humans leave Earth, they bring their war and destruction.
Yeah.
Everywhere that they go is like, oh my god, and it's like, yeah, it's done over and over, but it's true, because all you got to do is take a look around you. People are still fighting over stupid fucking reasons, and it's like
land.
Yeah.
Land that somebody's been living on for 2,000 years, all of a sudden they want it back. No, that's not how it works. Sorry. That deed is outdated, baby.
Gonna have to find another way, and that's just the way it is.
Figure it out. Build a wall. We don't care. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah. The thing is, I know exactly what you're talking about and where, and so will everybody else if they pay attention. But the thing is, none of that.
It doesn't matter. Just
it really doesn't, because if people would just stop for a second and look at what all the stuff that's in common, there would be no need for it. So in its soul, this movie has a great message.
Oh yeah,
I have issue with the delivery. I sent you a GIF of Keenan Wayans as the mailman in "Don't Be a Menace to Society While Drinking Juice in the Hood," where he'd pop up message.
I just started laughing when I saw that. I was dying.
I knew you would get it.
I was like, oh yeah,
it's heavy. It's really heavy, and it's like, wow. But here's the thing. There's one part that surprised me, and I got to pull up my notes. And it's near the end when he talks about, I think he's telling the lady, I can't remember her name. He's telling her about.
He's telling Helen. Patricia Neal is the actress.
Yes. Who was in something else we watched.
She's been in a few things, but the thing that I remember Patricia Neal in the most was in, I think it was a Hallmark made-for-TV movie, the Waltons Christmas special.
Yes.
She's the first Mama Walton. She's the first Mama. Mama?
Yeah, we had reviewed a movie that she was in, and I'm trying to think what it was. I saw it last night when I was looking through everything. It's like, oh,
I'm trying to think of what it was.
Who is this? But there's one we had done. All Quiet on the Western Front. She was John Boy's mama.
Yes. Was she mama in that one too?
Yes.
Holy crap, that's funny.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Because she died after he got back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I was trying to think.
He's talking to Patricia Neal, Helen. I believe this is at the point where he talks about, or it was at when he got all the dignitaries together. He talked about how they were able to stop war.
Yeah, and
it sent a chill down my spine. And I love that the writers did this, because this whole time we're getting, this is on the backdrop of this is the Red Scare. Communism, bad. And then all of a sudden he comes out and says how they were able to stop war with authoritarian use of law enforcement by turning these killer robots loose, basically, on anybody who very much stepped out of line or showed those tendencies, disintegrated. And it's like, my jaw was on the floor. It's like, thank you. Because this movie was so swinging that hammer and this, look at what you did. Nice.
But yet, he winds up telling everybody, well, we've got these, but the robot in question is a robot called Gort, and it's indestructible. His species, or all the species of the universe that are get together, they've all created this army, this police force of robots, that if one planet starts a war with another planet, these robots will go and destroy that planet.
Yep.
And that's why they don't go out and start wars. Pretty much everything else, it seems like, is like, we'll take care of it ourselves.
So are you saying
war? You don't go after anything.
Yeah. Are you saying they live in fear?
Yeah, I would say those that are aware of it. I don't think everybody I would think that not everybody there would be aware of it. It'd be like if something like that happened in our universe, and all of a sudden we were living in peace on this planet. The majority of us would be like, "What the hell just happened? What? I'm happy, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'd be looking over my shoulder going, okay, when's the next shoe going to drop until the day I die? Now, grandchildren or great nephews and nieces, may never know that. May just be like walking around, la la la, life is fucking great, until some idiot tries to start a war with them, and then all of a sudden this giant robot shows up and disintegrates everybody on that country that attacked in the first place. None of that fly away. Tell you what, that's going to waken up some people. Like, holy shit! What was that?
I found that to be very disturbing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was well done.
The writer did it.
Yeah, it was really good because, and we talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. You and I off the podcast on political spectrums. You go too far any direction, guess what? You're an authoritarian, and it's not what you want.
Exactly.
So,
and basically, he was coming down there as a threat.
Yep. And that was, it was telling, but this is a movie that's timeless. Mm-hmm. But when you look at it and when it's done, you can see the Red Scare all over.
Oh, yeah. And they just were coming out straight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't even hidden.
You know who it is. It's those other people.
We know who it is. I'm not saying it's them.
I like how the funniest scene to me, or one of the funniest scenes to me, is when Klaatu, the alien, is sitting at the breakfast table. Because he leaves his ship. And he's shot.
Yeah.
Back it up. He brings this gift. He brings this gift to humanity. He opens it up. And when he opens it, some asshole soldier shoots him.
Yep. And destroys the gift
because the bullet goes through the gift, like blasts it and hits the guy in the shoulder. Klaatu goes down. Well, meanwhile, Gort wakes up, this big 7-8 foot tall killer robot that's indestructible with laser beams. Just starts disintegrating
lasers
and guns. Yeah, freaking laser. There's so much for me to ask for. And he starts disintegrating these guns. Then he's going to turn on the humans. And you'd see that he's going to get ready to kill a bunch of humans. And Klaatu has to give him the direction. Don't stop. He shuts down, and the humans pick him up, and they're picking up Klaatu going, sorry, our mistake. They take him, get him worked on. He escapes after he, basically insults everybody in the military.
That was great.
He insults the president's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you guys are a bunch of freaking baby losers. You have no idea.
We got rid of stupidity. Why is everybody so stupid?
He's just laughing. And they lock him. They literally lock him in the room. Like, this is going to stop you. You've traveled 100 million light years. But me locking you into a room is going to stop you.
Let's back that up. Not only did he travel all that distance, they thought he's shot. We'll need to take him to a hospital.
Yeah.
I bet there's something on his ship that can take care of this.
You figure that one out at the end, right?
Yeah. It's like everybody was stupid. And I think it was I think it was purposely written this way. Now, there's some interesting things.
Everything was.
There's some interesting things when they talk about, you're hearing the radio broadcast. It could come from Mars or Venus. That's the only place where they have atmosphere that we could have breathed. And it's like, no, neither one of those places can anybody live.
As far as you know, you only know what the government's told you. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there, man. I've never been there. I don't know.
Fair enough. But I think what we're seeing from Mars and Venus have been true.
But anyway, to speed up a little bit, he escapes. He gets to a lodging house, and he's going to stay there a couple nights. Because he's learned how to read and write English and every language on the planet. Because the question comes out, like, how do you speak our language? He's like, well, we've been intercepting your broadcasts for years, and we've learned your language. We know how to speak every Earth language, kind of thing. So he goes to a boarding house, and he's that shot where he comes in, and they're all watching the news, and they're hyping it and hyping it and hyping it, and it's a tense moment because everybody's leaned in towards the television.
Yeah,
they're listening to the news say this thing's gonna kill everybody. It's got tentacles. It's they're just nobody knows what this alien looks like. Meanwhile, the alien's standing behind all these people watching the news, and as you turn and you look, he's standing silhouetted against the light. And he's all black. His face, everything is in shadow, and all you can see is kind of the outline of his suit, and he's just standing there. And then as he steps forward, you can see his face come out of the dark into the light. And the lady's like, "Oh, okay, how can I help you?" And he's like, "I'm here for a room." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll show you to the room." The next day, he's at the breakfast table. The funniest part, and they're going over like, where is he at? Where is this alien now? What menace is he seeking? What kind of destruction and terror is he wreaking? And he's sitting there drinking a cup of tea and eating toast. And I'm dying. I'm just like, yep, there he is. There's your menace.
Well, that's just it. And, the movie does a good point of illustrating how people fear what they don't understand.
Right.
And so there's a lot of good messaging in this movie. And
it's a fantastic movie.
I understand the way it was done and the reasons behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But it does fly in the face of something we scream about all the time.
Right.
Swinging that hammer, because this one to me really did it.
And it does, but it works. It
does.
And I think that's the difference between swinging that hammer and missing and swinging that hammer and hitting it.
Yeah.
Because I think the reason this works so much is because it is a peaceful message. It is an anti-war message. It is do we have to create something that will wipe us out, that will think on its own to wipe us out, to make us peaceful?
You see that?
We have to have an outside force that says, fuck you humans, you have to calm the hell down or else. Because that's what a lot of people think aliens are going to do, is come down and just tell us to knock it off or else. I mean, I don't know why any other alien would come here. I'd be just passing by.
Would drive by, I'd lock the doors.
Yeah, like in one of those neighborhoods, they're like, we're in the Earth sector. Lock your doors.
Lock your doors. There's a bunch of fucking savages.
Can we land and get a cookie? No. You don't want to go there. That's Earth. Something tells me we're the redheaded stepchild of the universe.
And rightfully so. I mean, and that's what's so cool about watching this movie now. I'm sure the effect was quite different then, but I watch it now and I'm really it's sad that we have not evolved past this.
Not grown up at all.
Nope.
Nothing on a basic level has changed on this planet since 1951.
Yeah. The media is still the same. Now, I'm having a flashback to college when I wrote a paper on the Boston Massacre. And there's a lot there with Sam Adams and others, how they manipulated the newspapers and put out propaganda pieces to push their agenda. And it's like, when I uncovered all of that, I was mad as hell. It's like, nothing's fucking changed. And here we are, 100 years later, here's this movie. And then this is 70 years ago, this movie came out. 70. And not a fucking thing has changed. We're still living in fear. We're still doing it. So this movie has
the news media.
Yeah, still falling into the hype of if it bleeds, it leads, instead of that's one of the things with Klaatu that I thought was really cool is he's like, it's almost like he paused. He was about to just say fuck it, pull the trigger and blow the planet up.
Yeah, he was ready to wipe that planet out.
But he's like, I want to see why. Yeah. I want to see why they're acting this way. And so he went to live among them to get a feel. Yeah. And that's more than we deserve. So
yeah. And well, that's the good thing, because he's looking out the window, and I think you're right. I think he's getting ready to just call up Gort and go, yeah, take it out.
I think that's where he was. He was almost there.
And then he's watching the people walk around, and I think he saw some kid walking across the street with his mom hand in hand, and he's just kind of like, okay, let me look around. Let me see what the hell is going on here. And then the good thing is he meets that little boy who wasn't nearly as annoying as you would think he would be.
No, guess what? Because he did not cause any trouble. He did not.
The kid didn't bring around the destruction of anything. Just being a little boy.
This is the best movie kid ever. He's just curious, which is awesome.
He meets Patricia Neal, and she's living in the not halfway house. She's living in the boarding house also, and with her son. And she takes a liking to Klaatu, the alien. She has no idea this guy's an alien, of course. And the kid thinks he's an FBI agent because, he looks, this dude looks like an FBI agent.
He does.
If anybody looked like an agent, it was this guy. And the kid just starts hanging out with him. Kid likes him. And the funny thing is the woman's supposed to go out on a date with her boyfriend the next day, or the boyfriend's got like a breakfast or a picnic or something. She's like, well, I got to take my son. And the guy, of course, is like, oh, it's going to ruin
he's such a douche.
I want to get a leg over on you. You know, your kid's going to ruin it for me kind of attitude. And Klaatu is like, well, you know, I'll watch him. I'll watch Billy. It's not a big deal. But he's very stiff, and he's not smiling really all that much. He doesn't really give you.
I don't know if I would have left my kid with him.
But this is 1951. This is what I said to the wife. 1951, really, that shit wasn't A, in the media at all. B, I honestly think you could trust a stranger a lot more than you can trust a stranger nowadays.
Maybe so.
Maybe that's just my guess. I could be completely wrong. If
maybe it just wasn't as reported as much.
Yeah, no, the mini cam has changed the way we look at people. The mini cam has made everybody evil. And not everybody's evil. I'm sorry. I think there's still a lot more good than there is bad. That's just my opinion.
And here we reach the point where Scott completely disagrees and goes the other direction. Everybody is evil, and there's a few good people out there. I think it's balanced the other way. So now we have balance in the universe. I represent the dark side today, and Dave is taking the light. But
here's Anakin Skywalker.
You know, give me some younglings and a lightsaber, and I'm good.
Yeah, no. I would probably join the dark side. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they got cookies.
Cookies. But anyway, he hangs out with the kid. And the kid's walking him through Washington and giving him basically a tour of Washington. And the guy has no idea what any of the monuments stand for. And the kid's looking at him going, really? You don't know what any of this is? And he's like, no, I have no idea. And he reads the post from Abraham Lincoln's memorial. And he's like, wow, this was a great guy. That's the kind of guy I need to talk to. You know, that's basically.
Too bad there's nobody left like that.
Is there anybody like this I can talk to? Who's the smartest guy? And the kid comes up with some scientist who I'm thinking is supposed to be like an Einstein.
Yeah.
And when he meets that scientist, he goes in and he starts changing the math that the guy's got.
He's helping him out.
He's leaving him a note, basically. It's like, I'm the alien without saying I'm the alien. Show me you're an alien.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then reworks the guy's math. And it's an entire chalkboard. It's like 8 foot long, probably 6 foot high, with all this really super complicated math on it. He goes in, the maid or whatever catches him, and he writes a note. He says, here, this is where I'm at. Tell him to call me. But it's really cool because the kid wasn't that horrible. The kid and the mom, I think, is what kept him from destroying the planet.
I think so. He saw goodness.
He saw that not all humans were headed in the same way as the military guys. You know
what? I can't help but this whole month has brought up so much with AI and aliens and always figuring out. You know, I always go to my favorite. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica, the series, is one of my all-time favorite shows. I can watch it constantly. But the way it ended, I thought it was really interesting with Gaius and 8 in the future.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have seen it over and over and over, and they had made the comment they always resort to destroying each other every fucking time.
And a lot of people think that ending is a Matrix ending.
I don't think it is.
I don't know.
It could be.
But they didn't end that series the way that I wanted to see it ended.
No, they didn't. And it could very well be a Matrix ending because the way the series Caprica, God, I wish it could have finished, was setting it up. It was building the Matrix.
And that's what I think everybody is building on. Like that's where everybody's at. But I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah. I did like that, but it's the same theme. It's like, you know, and I'm a cynical asshole. So I just sometimes I don't think there's much hope. That's why when the robot overlords or the aliens come, I'm your guys. I'm there.
Help you out. What do you need?
Yeah.
You need to carry that luggage for you, boss? No problem.
Yeah. You need me to round up all them old women over there that have been talking bad? Sure. Let's go.
Well, you know, I like when Klaatu's been arrested by the cop and one of the doctors comes out to talk to either another doctor or an agent. And he's like, he was very nice about it, but he made me feel like a third-class witch doctor. I just started laughing. I'm like, wow, that's bad.
It's probably, yeah, because he was like, what? Well, one of the notes before I forget, were you able to catch? It's not really a reference, but somebody watched this movie when they made Evil Dead. And those of you out there who are fans of Evil Dead will remember Ash reading from the Necronomicon these fateful words, Klaatu Baradu Niktu, and unleashing hell upon the world.
I have something else right there. Do you know who else had those Klaatu Barada Niktu?
Oh, please do tell.
Return of the Jedi. The 3 guards on the skiff that are guarding Han and Luke, and they're getting ready to kill him. Their names are Klaatu Barada.
Oh my God! So wow, I didn't know that. That's great.
Ash one, I honestly did. I'm sure I would have picked it if I watched it again.
Yeah, that's what he stumbles on and unleashes shit.
Which is funny because the whole point of saying Gort, Klaatu Barada Niktu to calm him down and to stop him from wiping out the planet Earth.
I applaud Sam Raimi for throwing that in there because like, man, that was a direct call to that.
Gotta be a fan. So. That's funny. I like Klaatu walking around with the kid when he's looking at the son is looking at his dad's grave in Arlington Cemetery. And it doesn't dawn on Klaatu, I don't think, right away, what those tombstones are until the kid tells him, that was my dad. He was killed in, I forgot where he says he was killed.
And then he sees it's from a war.
Yeah, and then he's looking at the tombstone and he puts it all together like, oh, that's a birth date and a death date, and that's the name. And then he looks at all the other stones and you see him just kind of look like he's just looking at Arlington Cemetery like these are all dead people from war. And you can see a physical change in the guy. That actor.
Oh, it's well done, dude.
So fucking good at his job. Because just that move when he looks around, you can see the expression because he does like almost a 180 or a 60. He looks all the way around. He's just, and the kid's like, what's going on? He's like, wow, I really need to talk to somebody in charge because if this is what you guys are doing, we got to come.
He was seeing there's no hope. That's what he was thinking.
Probably. I like the flashlight when he's getting Gort's attention. Oh, what else? I just wanted to go through the notes real quick.
Please.
The top military brass make really dumb decisions. Like
unfortunately, they do that in a lot of movies.
They surround this big spaceship like they're going to do anything. Then Gort comes out and disintegrates tanks with a laser beam, and they still think they're going to get this guy. They got like an arc welder, and they're like trying to cut through the ship. Nothing. They try to literally cut through Gort at one point, and they're like, "There's nothing. He's not even warm." Yep. And it's like, what the hell do you guys have in your arsenal? A nuclear bomb's not going to bother this thing. I mean, they've made things, and you could drop it in the center of the sun, and Gort is going to come out on the other side, probably a little pissed off.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend, I forgot the character's name. What a jerk.
Yeah.
He so wanted to be famous. He got those diamonds that Klaatu said most planets use as change basically in currency, or some planets use these for currency. I don't know. But that guy, boy, what a jerk. I didn't like him.
What? He was
really liked him even less.
That character is always, it seems, in every movie you watch, there's going to be that one. It's going to drive this shit the way you don't want it to go, because his involvement is going to get Klaatu killed, basically. Right. He has to be resurrected on his ship.
And he doesn't care because I want to be famous. That's the thing he says to her. He says,
he does. He says, I want to be famous.
I want to be famous. You'll be married to the most famous man in the world. And she looks at him and she goes, I'm not going to be married to anybody. And turns around and walks out on him. I'm like, yeah. You should have slapped him in the face one, lady.
I like that. Yeah. He was a douche. He really was.
I'm thinking Klaatu must have a dead man switch in him. Literally, like if he dies, that's when Gort kicks in. Because
that's why she had to go give the command, I think.
Yeah, before he dies, he tells the lady, "You have to go to Gort and you have to give him this command, Klaatu Barada Niktu," and he makes her memorize those words because he knows something could go down, and if it goes down, he probably figures he's going to be dead. He gets shot again, of course, by the military, who is just like, these fuckers are trigger happy guys. I don't know what the hell it is with them. But they shoot the guy in the back as he's running away. He's not even hurting anybody. They just shoot him in the back. I'm like, okay, you guys you shot him once and he didn't die and he was fully healed. You're just pissing this guy off.
They were out for blood.
Do this. I'm going to destroy the planet. Oh, we'll teach you to tell us you're going to destroy the planet. We're going to kill you. Probably not a good idea.
Do you think that might have been the writer's way of pointing out American arrogance?
I don't think it was just American. See, this is where
or human.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of, and initially I could see, especially back in 1951, where you're looking at this as just purely American. But if you look at the snippet shots of the rest of the world, they're all having the exact same reaction to this alien.
That's true.
If you would have landed in Russia, exact same thing.
Except for Russia, they really made a point to show people in a bread line. So
coming to a country near you.
Yeah. Just saying.
But that's just it. Like I think it was more. I think he used American troops because this is the country the movie was made.
Yeah, but I mean,
I do think it was more of a human reaction. I think
that's a fair statement.
Trying to show a human reaction. Like, this is what anybody is going to do to this guy. To come down and say, you need to make peace on this planet or else, they're not going to hear, you need to make peace on this planet. We can help you thrive. We can, you can go to the stars and you will see wonders.
No, they're going to instantly be offended.
They're going to be offended because he said, or else. How dare you threaten me? How dare you tell me what to do? I'm the president. I'm the general. Yeah, well, you're going to get everybody killed.
That's not unique to Americans, but
no, exactly.
I think at the time of this movie, it would be.
Yeah, I think that's a human thing. Where did the dead man switch and
yeah, there probably was.
The rejuvenation chamber I thought was really cool. It's a very, I think I'm wondering if maybe that was the idea for Doctor Who. What do you think?
That's interesting. I did not even think of that. Doctor Who 64, was it? 63,
I think is when the
early 60s
Doctor Who episode showed up.
You know what?
She may have seen that.
I'm sure anybody who wrote Sci-Fi saw this movie, especially.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a little iffy if anybody gets this. But for me, watching this movie, Gort is Jeeves to Klaatu's Wooster.
Please, help me. Help me, please, Dave. I don't know your reference.
Wooster and Jeeves is all I'm going to say.
I will look it up. And you fine folks out there, if you don't know it, do the same with me because Scott's feeling awfully stupid right now.
No, don't feel stupid. I'm just a huge fan of Woodhouse's work. It's a British writer named Wodehouse. Wodehouse. And he came up with some characters called Wooster and Jeeves. Jeeves was the butler. Wooster was the rich kid who always used to go and get into trouble.
Okay.
And the butler would always get him out of trouble.
Kind of like Batman and Alfred.
I was watching this and I'm like, oh my God, Gort is the Jeeves of this group, and
he sure is.
Klaatu is Wooster. not as airheaded, of course, but and I wrote a note to myself: stop pissing Gort off.
I know.
Disintegrating at least 2 soldiers in this movie.
Well, they're not very smart because they've seen he can disintegrate things. Why are you fucking with him?
And they just kept doing it. It's like, what? Just leave him alone. You know what? Try and stay out of his way. How's that? Just try to stay out of the big, giant, 8-foot tall robot that's indestructible's way. Just, it's easy as that.
I mean, leave it to humans to think that wow, somebody traveled millions of miles or light years, landed a spaceship. They're smart.
Just one spaceship. They didn't even bring in. It's not like he brought in a fleet.
He brought in one to wipe out the planet.
Right.
So
it only takes one Gort.
Just all you have to do is stop and think: if somebody's capable of that, what else are they capable of? But you're right; they were trigger happy as hell. They were shooting first, not asking questions. You know, it's like
the scientists loved him.
Yeah, the scientists loved him. They were there. I think this movie is a great commentary on humanity as a whole, and in that aspect, it's timeless. You're going to have your people like the children, the kid, whatever his name was. He was Billy. Billy was great. He showed the curiosity of a child. Yeah. He showed the innocence of that, and he was actually probably the reason that that slowed Klaatu down, because he made that connection with Billy.
He may never have even seen a little kid before. Who knows? Because we don't know what it's like out there. You know,
exactly.
He may not have known what a little boy was. This is curious. It's a little human. what are you little? You don't know. But yeah, I think it's a curiosity thing. I think he looked around and was like, "Okay, this kid, I can teach this kid." And then when he's playing with his train set, remind me to tell you about trains that don't have tracks.
Don't need tracks. Yeah.
And the kid's lifting up his toy train. He's looking at no tracks, huh?
Yeah. So the children. The scientist. The smarter people.
Yeah. Well, the people that are curious.
The curious. Curious is the best way to say it versus smart. Those others who, and this is indicative of any society. There'll be those who prefer to live in fear and those who don't. And it was very telling in that there were some people that were fine. Others were like, oh, it's horrible. And they would run and scream. It's like, what are you running from? He can kill you right now. You might as well just walk away. Right. You know, what's the point? There's there's a disconnect there.
There's only one little teeny problem for me in this movie. I've seen this movie a couple times, so I knew what to expect. When she has to give Gort the command, I just wish there would have been more, for lack of a better term, more stress, more destruction, more showing what this robot can do. Like,
that would have been a good
wiping
time
out a
for
city
that.
block, like with one death ray, just wiping out a city block, and you see her running up, maybe behind him, and as he's blowing up buildings and just disintegrating, thousands of people. She's running up behind him, and as he turns, his big light ray is going to blast her because she's running up behind him. And that's when she's like, no, Gort, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. And she just shouts it, like, as he's getting ready to hit, like, maybe a family or something, something a little bit more stressful. I just wish they would have built that in more.
Instead, we have Helen throwing herself on the ground, screaming.
Yeah, tripping over chairs.
She didn't even trip. She had a William Shatner moment. Ah! And screamed. And it's like, oh my God, that was so bad.
Thank God. All I have to say is thank God she was the one giving that command.
Yes.
With my memory, I'd have been like, click, cool. What is it? Hold on. Give me a minute.
Which is what Bruce Campbell does, is fuck it all up and unleash hell.
The world's fucked. Why? Yeah. Because you wanted to destroy it? No, I just couldn't remember the command to stop him. My mind went totally blank. I was under pressure.
And just a completely random thought, I started rewatching Ash versus Evil Dead, the series. And in the first fucking episode, he's getting high with some chick or whatever, and she gets turned on by poetry. He's like, you want poetry? I got poetry. He pulls out the Necronomicon and starts reading from it. Here's some poetry. And well, you know what happens. The Deadites come and all of that. So it's like, but he's like, yeah, read this.
Ash, we hardly knew you.
Oh my God.
But this movie has got a lot going for it. It's got a lot of weight. It's got a lot of.
I usually don't like movies that are this heavy anymore.
But this one is so well done, and it's so. I think it's a lot deeper than anybody initially gives it credit for. Like you were saying about the soldiers being American, I think you have to look a little bit deeper.
Okay.
I think maybe you look a little deeper, I think you realize That's not an American soldier shooting this guy in the back. I mean, physically it is, but that's a human. That's humanity.
Yeah.
Killing this guy.
Yeah, I think it based on the backdrop, it's easy to, and plus, I mean, seriously, as people, we don't usually think outside of our borders, and so, but when you look at it that way, you're right. It is pretty much a indictment of humanity's arrogance and ignorance.
Right.
So
I would say
because there's so much we don't know. So it's could be aliens.
Would aliens come here to destroy humans? Maybe. Would they come here to try and help? Maybe. Are they just passersby, like Douglas Adams says, with the kids who jump out in the middle of the woods and with wires on their head, go bleep 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 sound with the locals? Maybe. There's probably a better chance of that than the other stuff. It's probably just a bunch of teenagers coming in the cornfields and doing shit and going, watch these fuckers. They'll be looking at this for a month.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, final thoughts on The Day the Earth Stood Still.
I highly recommend it. I really do. It's not a fun movie. There are fun moments in it when you see how the alien reacts to human ignorance or human arrogance.
Yeah.
I really wish that Gort would have had just a moment of just. I think it would have been a little bit more tense. But back in the day, in the time period and the money and the budget and the special effects, I see why they didn't do it.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I agree with that. This is a good movie. This is definitely. You're right. It's not a fun movie.
No.
It's one to watch with if you want to. Damn it! If you like sci-fi, you have to watch this. I didn't finish this movie like, oh my God, that was fucking amazing. I finished it like, I'm pissed off. I'm mad.
Makes me think. Every time I watch this movie, I think about what was going on at the time period of the movie being made.
Right.
And then I think about what's going on now. And it's like nothing changed. I looked at the wife yesterday. I was like, nothing's changed. The good thing was the media guy. The media guy, he's walking up and down the line asking questions. What do you think? Oh, I'm scared. What do you think? Oh, I'm terrified. What do you think? Well, I think they may have come here for
next
different reason. Oh, well, it's moving on. He got that microphone away from Klaatu.
Yeah, because oh my God, because it went against his agenda, and that scene alone is very telling. Of
media. Nobody trusted the media. Even back then, they didn't trust the media. Still shouldn't. Go look at shit on your own, folks. That's my only. Yeah,
and that does not necessarily mean YouTube.
Not always. No.
Not always. Not
TikTok's
always.
Not going to tell you what you want.
Oh God, no! TikTok's even worse.
You're gonna
have to read multiple sources.
Yeah, and if you're reading one source, no matter what you're investigating, no matter what you're looking at, even if it's aliens, if you read it in one spot and you go to another and it looks like it was copied and pasted, just negate that altogether. No, the 15 people posting the exact same thing is not investigating.
No, it's not. It's not. So I mean, and see that movie. That's what that movie's basically saying. It is a message to do like Klaatu, see with your own eyes, and not to get all, I don't know, soft or squishy or anything, but it's when you set aside your ignorance, and you look at, do like Klaatu. See why people are the way they are and get a chance to know somebody. He got a chance to know Billy and Helen, and he changed. And we should do that as humans with everybody. And it's not easy. It's not easy to get past your prejudices and your instilled bigotries and stuff that we all have. So it's hard to get past that and look for the good. And that's what this movie actually has.
Cut that off. You almost have to cut that out because you're raised or brought up one way. And you almost have to cut that off. You have to meet people. You have to go talk to other people. Some people you might just go, yeah, no, you're an idiot.
And then there are
a family member that you're like, you're the nicest guy in the world. How are you related to that person? You know?
Well, I mean, her boyfriend was a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
Somebody different. The gun-happy soldiers. And everybody had their own thing, and they were all. I wouldn't say they're all bad people, but there was a lot of fear, and fear makes people do stupid things.
Fear makes people do stupid shit. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's what you can't be. You can't live your life in fear of anything.
That's right.
Because, sorry, folks, we all have a certain amount of time on this planet, and none of us know when we're going to go. Try to enjoy it. Tell people you love them, and try to have as much fun as you can.
I keep asking my Magic 8-Ball, but it just tells me to ask again later. So maybe it'll eventually tell me.
Fucking Magic 8-Ball. Told me I was going to be a multi-billionaire by now by winning a lottery. No, I have not.
Yeah.
You can't hardly trust them.
No, you can't. So you get other sources besides your Magic 8-Ball.
Exactly. Don't use Magic 8. What we're saying is, for financial advice, don't use it.
I'm speaking for a friend.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me. No, I heard about this guy's cousin's brother's roommate who once did hedge funds investments using a Magic 8-Ball, and he became a billionaire. But anyway,
my stocks are going so bad right now. I have 2 big ones and the rest suck.
I give 100%. For The Day the Earth Stood Still, a must-watch.
Yes, absolutely must-watch, I think.
It's going to make you think. Be prepared. If you don't want a heavy movie, don't watch it just yet. But find a time to sit down and watch it and do yourself a favor and take a look at it. And remember when it was made. Right. And that's one of the things I found myself watching it. It's like, how were people responding when this happened? I'm thinking, how were they responding? Sorry, I'm chasing my light.
I just fidget. I'm sorry, folks. I fidget a lot. I can't help it. I'm always a fidgeter.
So next month we are entering the Christmas season, and we've decided to do things a little bit different than last year. We're going to go with some well-known features. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's up first out of the gate, but I guarantee you've probably seen it, so you'll be able to join us, and there will be spoilers. So
yes, we spoil everything. If in case this is the first episode you've ever watched,
we spoil it all.
We spoil everything. I mean, you guessed it. We spoil everything. We should just call this old ass movie spoiler reviews. Is what we should have really called it. With old
We're
guys,
too far in.
Old guys spoiling movies.
Yeah, and to that imposter on YouTube, shit ain't gonna fly.
As long as he doesn't bother me, I don't care.
I don't.
I just want his followers.
Yeah, send your followers our way. We were the original old ass movie reviews. We even have a logo.
Yeah.
We got T-shirts.
Yeah. Reminds me, I'll talk to you about that after.
All right. So join us for our next episode for a special Christmas one that I promise you it is not the Star Wars holiday special. We will never torture ourselves like that again.
If you want to know about the Star Wars holiday special,
go back and watch it.
The last Christmas's holiday specials, watch it. It's painful. It's going to be more fun watching us talk about how bad that movie is than it
watching
is
the actual movie.
For you actually watching the movie. That's the only advice I got.
That's it. So until next week, hope you enjoyed our science fiction round of movies, and make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share. Send us an email. Let us know you're listening. Send us a tweet. Send us a Facebook message. Join us anywhere. OAMR, Instagram. You can find it using the hashtag OAMR. We're out there. So please share. So until next time. Later.
Cheers. Good night.